Welcome back to Drive Season 5. My name is Byron, and this is the all-new 2024 Hummer EV SUV. I'm out here in California with the team from GMC, and I've been driving this for the past 2 days between Napa Valley and San Francisco, getting to know it inside and out. It's been a bit rainy here in California, hence why I'm in this giant warehouse. Not the prettiest, but it kind of makes for a cool contrast between the vehicle and its surrounding. As always, we'll take a look at the exterior, the interior, we'll talk a little bit about tech, and then we'll go out and take it for a drive. Exterior color is Moonshot Green Matte. It's a gorgeous color, and it really provides a lot of variety and versatility. In some settings, it looks really green. In other settings, it looks dark gray. Sometimes it even looks dark blue. Really a versatile color, and I think it looks nice on this Edition 1 Hummer. Total MSRP, as tested, a little bit over $105,000 for the on-road version that we have here with the 22-inch wheels. For the off-road, that starts at around $110. Let's go ahead and take a closer look up front. Up front, you can get an idea for just how wide and massive the front of this vehicle is. It's really wide and kind of tight down through here. I love this bar across the front, illuminated all the way across, spells out the word Hummer, and then these headlights on either side will actually do a pretty unique thing when the vehicle is charging. They turn blue and show the amount of charge. If you want to open up the front trunk, we'll call it, you can press there. It'll automatically open for you, kind of like some magic wizardry there. And then you can put a lot of storage here. You can put accessories in there, whatever you really need. You've got different hooks. And then this is obviously where you can also put the sky panels for the roof. They stack in here nice and neat. And then you can strap them down here with these tethers. We'll go ahead and close the front. As that's closing, I'll talk a little bit more. Got these massive tow hooks down through here. Lots of different cameras integrated throughout the vehicle. Got this big skid plate through there to help you when you're off-roading. Any rocks, gives you a really good approach angle. And I think the front of this vehicle looks really aggressive, but not too aggressive. It's still pretty sleek, still pretty modern, and I really think it looks great. Let's go ahead and take a look at the profile. Really see how upright this front windshield is, and you can see this low turret roof profile. It's just a gorgeous vehicle, gorgeous SUV, whatever you want to call it. It's a super truck, super SUV. And when you're comparing this versus the truck is 20 inches longer, and I essentially think from here, pretty much all the way to here is identical, and then from here back on the pickup, you're gonna have longer bed, and it's gonna be a pickup of the SUV. Obviously, you get this change in the design language. We're sitting on some big, meaty tires, 22-inch wheels. This is the on-road version. You get 18s and a more off-road setup in the off-road version. Also really do like how they kind of broke it up. You got the black up top on these panels, black over the fender flares, black down through here, and then this moonshot green through the middle portion. It really kind of, I think, sandwiches the vehicle nicely and gives it a really sleek and beautiful profile. Let's go ahead and take a look at the rear. Open this up. This is not the gas cap. This is the EV charge port. You can plug in right here with the DC fast charging, get this puppy charged up and ready to rock. I really like these rear tail lamps, super flat. This is all just really flat. They're integrated in. If you look at it from the sideways view, it is an H basically. You got the Hummer EV badging through there. We'll press this button, the power rear gate will open up, giving you access to quite a bit of storage. And it's really nice because you can fold down these rear seats and basically get not the exact same amount of space, but basically that same flat storage that you get in the truck, except it is nice and covered. Again, it's gonna be shorter, a little bit tighter with just the different angles, but it is really nice to get that nice flat storage in the back. Some different ways to tie stuff down back through here, different storage up underneath this. It's a really cool design back here on this rubber mat, kind of a lunar design. So we'll go ahead and re-shut this and quickly, before we hop inside and take a look at the interior, take a look at this massive tire mounted back here. I think the integration looks really well and it kind of fits the overall proportions. Obviously, you're gonna put the same tire on the back as you do up front. You can get a cover for this that kind of matches that same lunar design that you saw in the interior. You can also get a light bar for up top, a roof rack. I mean, tons of different accessories to make this vehicle customizable for you. And I really like these 3 lights up top. You also saw those in the front as well. I just think it adds a nice little touch to this vehicle. It's just such a cool car on the road, off-road, driving through town, wherever you got this vehicle is sure to turn some heads. Let's go ahead and take a look at the interior. Before we get in, take a look at the design here in the Bose speaker. Very outer space, moon-like. Take a look down through here. This kind of is reminiscent of that front light bar. Look at this as well. Just really a lot of different little details in this vehicle that I think make it really special and really unique. I'm not going to touch on every single little thing in here, but I will touch on some of the stuff I really do like, and as well just highlight some of the nice little features that this vehicle has. The biggest thing I'll say, I'm a very tactile and texture-oriented person. There are tons of different textures in this vehicle. It's really brilliant, actually. I mean, even this outer portion here, all the way across through here. Now, these are not touchscreen. That took me a minute to get used to. At first, I kept trying to touch this. They're all controlled by these actual buttons through here. These are hard buttons as well. But just all the little angles, inlets, even down through here, has got really nice texturing on it. This, all the way through here, is not like the typical diamond knurling that you get on this. This is more vertical slats. I think it just really speaks to how much detail they put in to the interior of this vehicle. Just all the little finishes that you might not even notice at first glance until you really kind of sit around and look. You got the Hummer EV on the back of the seat. This is kind of a hard material. Perforation up there on the headrest. Take a look here. This is how you can release the top, and you can take out this middle portion of the eye-bar to get the fully immersive experience. But with them on, it's kind of that blued out, transparent roof, and that continues there in the back as well. If I can put my foot on the brake and push to start, this will fire up. But I always like to say fire up. I'm so used to saying that. It doesn't really fire up because it's an EV and it's just actually pretty quiet. But there's a ton of different settings down through here. This is actually touchscreen, which is nice, but this portion again is not touchscreen. But if we look at the actual vehicle, we can go between the different modes by turning this mode dial and take a look at this. I mean, the graphics on it are like something out of a video game. It's just really well thought out, and it's awesome. Now, it'd be cool if the actual color of this was the color of the car we're in, like this moonshot green, but it's still pretty nice that they got a real, you know, life scale of the car. So check this out. It's pulling behind it a spaceship. Like, how cool is that? This thing is, again, very space oriented. Even down through there. Look at that. Beautiful design. And that's a spot that, you know, not a ton of people would see. That is a nice little area for you to have storage, but not everyone sees that down through there. I love the Hummer EV badge down on the base of the steering wheel. I love just how light and how good of a feel the steering wheel has to it. This is a big, heavy car. When you're out steering it, maneuvering it, it handles perfectly. And I love the two different screens. I'm actually all right. I know a lot of days people are connecting the screens just to have one big section. I kind of prefer it to be separated. You got this little section here, you know, you and your passenger can access it, and then you got this little bit through here. I prefer that. I think that's great. Take a look at this little icon there of a Hummer. You got the same one up there in the left side of the windshield. It's raining out here, really wet, so it's getting all soppy, but I like the feel of this. It's soft, it's not hard, it's not sticky, it's just got a great feel to it, kind of like a vinyl rubber-like material. But just look at all the finishes. I mean, you got the gold trim down through here around the vent housing on the wheel. You got a good amount of storage, so we open up that. Got a little tray here that you can remove. That's a pretty deep storage well. 2 cup holders, the wireless charging for your phone right there, your tow hookups down through here. And again, this is a really crisp and clean screen. It's super vertical, as is the vertical windshield. You know, sometimes you used to have it a little bit of an angle, but this is perfectly upright. One thing I wish this car had from the interior perspective would be a handle, maybe right here for the passenger. You got the grab handle there on the door and up there, but I'd like to have one here. I'd like to have one up here ideally, but that's not the best scenario because these are removable and stackable. So if you had a big handle here, it would kind of mess up your little Jenga stack. Let's go ahead and hop in the rear real fast, look at the rear, and then we'll look at the trunk. then we'll learn about some tech. Back here at the rear, I'm 6'5", this seat's fully maxed out, and I actually am pretty decent. I mean, I'm right on the edge of the seat, but again, I'm very tall, so if you had two 6'5" people in this car, you could actually make it work. Climate controls for the people back here, plug ups, and then, again, the attention to detail. This little portion is removable, but it's got that same outline and design that's in the rear, that's in the front, just throughout this vehicle. And again, this is a component that not everyone would see, but Hummer just doesn't want to, you know, skimp out on the details in certain areas. They want to have it throughout the entirety of this vehicle. Continuation of the trim back through here, and then you got two rear cup holders. So the back is a bit more simple, a bit more refined. These do fold down. Let's take a quick look at the rear. Power rear swing gate there. Push that button and this thing will fully swing open to a full 90 degrees. It's got that big heavy tire on it and it opens up effortlessly. Ton of stuff back here getting soaked. Suitcases, camera gear, backpacks. It fits it all nicely, fits it well. And if we wanted to have extra room, we could fold down those rear seats. You got the Hummer EV embossed there, etched on the door. And you got a continuation again, that really cool pattern through here. Let's get this closed. Let's learn about some tech, then we'll go for a drive. So we got Scott McLean here from GMC Engineering. He's gonna give us a quick little rundown on some of the tech.
Both vehicles are powered by a 3-motor system, 2 on the rear wheel, 1 in the front.
Okay.
20 mod battery pack, which, you know, is a little bit shorter than, say, what's on the current product pickup. And what that allows, the vehicle itself has a smaller wheelbase, which really lends itself to even more capable off-roading. You can see the clearance here as you're coming down off of obstacles, off of rocks, is even more improved on this. The truck is extremely capable. This has even more clearance there.
How quickly does something like this charge if you were doing it like at home in a regular outlet?
Well, yeah, regular outlet is, to be honest, is a little bit slower. When you get into like a fast charger though, a DC fast charger, you can get 100 miles of range added in like 14 minutes.
Wow.
At the top, you know, it depends on the charger.
Sure.
Right, and so what's available to you, but those ones will get you 100 miles of range in 14 minutes.
Excellent.
You know, the slower ones will kind of, something that you would use more overnight.
Yeah.
Can add like, you know, maybe 12 miles per hour range.
So yes, but if you're sleeping overnight and you're not in a big rush or something like that.
When you go into SpeedPhenom mode, it'll do a couple things. The suspension will go to the lowest setting, and that's for a better launch, like lower. So we've got different ride heights available. SpeedPhenom gets you down to the lowest one, and that's for a better launch. And then you will hear sound within the vehicle, sort of giving you an experience that I'm in SpeedPhenom mode. You'll see something on the display indicating it, and then it walks you through the instructions on how to launch. And it is, you know, something that is exciting. It'll throw you back in your seat, and it's quite an experience.
We got Kirsten here. She just went off-roading. She's an engineer. She's going to give us a little bit of tech talk on the torque.
Yeah.
As an alliteration.
Perfect. Yeah, so you saw in our presentation that it's over 11,000 foot-pounds of torque. And that comes from those electric motors and gets transferred through that final drive ratio out to the wheels. So there's a little bit of math there, but it's a huge amount of torque, and that also we have about 800 horsepower as well, and that's just coming direct from the battery into the motors. Okay, so that ends up being like around 1,200 to the motor. Yes, yeah.
So you can say, like, I'm used to like speaking in like terms of like a V8 car or something, so like, you know, 800 horsepower, 830 horsepower, 1,200 pound-foot of torque.
Right. Name me an engine that gives you that.
Okay, essentially, yeah. So that's pretty incredible. Yeah, that's actually amazing. All right, guys. So here is the aftermath. I got so caught up in it, I didn't get a chance to film everything. But basically, we experienced raising, lowering the vehicle. We experienced going over some rocks. You could really hear down, hidden the under skid plate of it. And it was definitely putting in work. Then, after we went through all that, went through the deep river, we went out, did a turnaround, 35.4 feet turning radius, which is absolutely incredible for a vehicle of this size and vehicle of this caliber. And finally, we went over some logs, some elevation changes, and then did a nice little flyby through here. But you can just see how deep these ruts are, and just how thick and nasty this mud is, and this beast handled it very well. Had a lot of fun. Now let's go out for a regular drive. Behind the wheel and on the road in the Hummer EV SUV. This is literally my first time driving it. Whenever I make these videos, I like to be you know, real and raw, and I just pulled out of the parking lot that, you know, we were parked in, and I've done a review on the pickup in a dealership sitting there at Global Motorsports, just, you know, kind of doing a little walk around of it. Couldn't drive it, couldn't ride it. This is it. I'm on the road. Nothing stopping me. We can do whatever we want within reason. And here we go. Let's take it a little slow because we're kind of driving through city roads right now, but I can't believe how high up I feel. We are sitting on 35s all the way around, 22s on this model. You do have the off-road setup on one of the other ones that we were looking at over at the hotel. And yeah, I feel like super high up. And it's really, really cool. I wore this jacket for a very specific reason. Back in 03, my family actually bought a Hummer H2. And on this sleeve right here, it says Hummer H2. At the dealership we bought it from, they gave us this with our purchase. We went on to put well over 100,000 miles on that car, off-roading it. One of my fondest memories in that Hummer H2 was down in Destin. I was down there with my family, ended up meeting up with some girls, and it was me and 4 girls riding around in this Hummer, and it was just so cool, cruising down with the windows down. And now I'm cruising around with my buddy Eddie, so it's almost as
vastly superior in every single conceivable way.
It's just so weird driving around in such a big vehicle and having it almost make no noise. When you do kind of come to a stop, you hear a bit of pulsation kind of flowing through the vehicle, and at first I was like, is the music on? You know, I thought I heard music, but it's actually kind of coming from the vehicle. It's very like calming. If you're at a spa, it'd be almost the noise you would hear at a spa. It's kind of relaxing. But this is sitting on top of the Ultium battery platform, 20 battery modules. This is 9 inches shorter wheelbase than the Hummer EV pickup, so a little bit less battery modules, a little bit less horsepower, 830 on this versus the 1,000 on the pickup. And the mile radius on this is still incredible. So you're getting 300 on this, 350 on the pickup. But I love the look of the SUV. I think it just looks so cool, and I feel like kind of pays homage in a sense to the H2 back in the day. I was talking to someone on the way over here. I mean, this is good for the environment. This is EV. It's not like the big V8 that they had back in 03. Not saying that was like terrible. I mean, I had a blast with it. We all had a good time. It was one of the coolest, you know, trucks that we owned. But now you can own a really cool truck and also not feel bad about, you know, getting 6, 7, 8 miles to the gallon. And it feels futuristic. It feels like something like a Warthog or something like that from Halo. I feel like I'm just driving around in some kind of like space vehicle almost, especially this color. This color spec's incredible. They got a black one that we saw, a white one that we saw as well, but I think this is a really, really unique color spec, and it just ties in nice with the gold touches throughout this vehicle. It's very insulated. That's one big thing I feel like, and Hummers have always been notorious for feeling super wide. This does feel wide, but it doesn't feel as wide as the original Hummer to where like I couldn't even like touch the other side. If I really try, I can get it, and you know, this feels a little bit more compact, yet it still is, just when you're looking at it from the outside, it's a big, wide vehicle. But just simply driving around town, it's just really cool, and it feels really cool too. I always talk about that in my videos, you know, like the emotions that come along with it. People are checking this thing out like crazy. Not so much when I'm like driving, but when it was stopped on the side of the road, nearly every person that walked by either had a comment about it, or you could see them taking a photo, or just showing genuine interest. And that's because this is sweet. This is like, this is specifically the SUV. There aren't any out on the road right now, so we are very fortunate, very blessed. Thing with Super Cruise on, I hit the adaptive cruise control, then I hit the Super Cruise steering wheel button. I got the green indication up top, and now I am driving hands-free, foot-free. Now, you do have to pay attention though. There are sensors, there are cameras that are, oh my God. That was a cop. I super cruised it at the wrong speed. I just super cruised it at 70, and I don't know what the speed is here. I don't want to find out. Okay, thank you. Cop is going by. Yeah, I was just kind of like in the moment trying to show this example. I just picked a speed. I did not even think about the speed limit outside. And it says it right here in the top right corner. I should abide by that is 55. So that's probably a good thing we slowed down. I'm going the proper speed now. I will say, you can't, oh, the cop's pulling someone over right now. Could have been me if I was speeding, but I follow the rules on the Hummer EV SUV drive. But yeah, it's wild, you know? Hands-free, feet-free, but you gotta be paying attention. It's not just a free-for-all, you can just take a nap and look over. If I were to, you know, get distracted like this, like I just did looking over at Eddie, it's gonna prompt me to pay attention. It just did an auto lane change for me this thing because it sensed that someone in front of me was going slower. It told me when the action was complete, and there you go. I mean, I literally, as I looked over it did do the lane change for me. But yeah, if I get distracted or if I'm looking at my phone or just not obviously paying attention for whatever reason, sensors will give me a warning, first warning, second warning, third warning, and then ultimately the vehicle will slow down, come to a stop, and call OnStar. So again, it's not like it's fully, you know, just don't pay attention, but it is super handy, super nice. Pop the heated seat on, recline back, listen to some good music on the Bose sound system, and just relax. This is kind of a nice portion of the road to do this on because just kind of some nice scenery, a little bit of traffic, don't want to really have to be focused on every single thing, so Super Cruise is super handy in this regard. We just had to navigate around a trolley that was broken down. You know, in San Francisco, they got these crazy steep hills. We're kind of going up one right now, and I didn't even flinch. I didn't even think twice rolling over the trolley tracks and just going around this hill. I mean, this thing is built for anything, and whether that be, you know, just driving the streets of San Francisco or off-roading, you know, in Napa Valley where we're headed. This thing has got 11,500 pound-foot of torque to the wheels, and you can certainly feel it. Wow. So when I'm hard on the brakes, you feel it kind of leaning forward and floating up a little bit in the back, and when you're hard on the gas, accelerator rather, not gas, you feel it really pulling you back. And it's just, again, I feel like I'm like in the future or something. It's just crazy. I'm driving around all these normal civilian cars and I'm hearing this sweet Hummer, and just the paint spec on this really adds to that kind of illusion that you're just in like another universe here, and it's just so fun. Oh. That is so awesome. Yeah, you can get going really quick in this car, and it doesn't feel like you're going terribly fast because it's so big. Let me do another little launch here. I haven't even been flooring it. I've been like letting off a little bit because I'm a little scared. Wow, that is so cool. I think the thing I like about this over other EVs I've been in is that it's incredibly fast. It pins you in the back of your seat, but it does not make me like nauseous. It almost like where my eyes kind of feel like they're like rolling into the back of my head. Some of the other EVs you're in, you know, you floor it and you almost feel just a little ill, like you just don't feel great. This is kind of unique because it's fun. Like you're driving fast and having a good time, and you don't feel like you need a barf bag in it because it's just so intense.
Turn it just a little bit like that.
Oh, 100.
And then then bring it back the other way. Yep. Keep turning it. Yeah.
What's the maximum speed you can do this at?
I think it starts to phase out around 25 kilometers an hour.
That's actually wild. We don't know the exact weight of this, but the weight of the pickup is around 9,000. So you guys can kind of extrapolate or do the math there on your own. Let's see how it handles around a corner. This does have the all-wheel steering, which is nice. Even just on the road, making corners. Good stopping capabilities. You gotta have good brakes on this car. It fits me perfectly. I've got several inches of headroom right here across this bar. If I was screwed up a little bit, I'd have even more, because right above you, you got these kind of blacked out panels, which are almost like a mirror. You look up, you see the exact reflection above you. Legroom is wonderful, and these seats are comfortable too. They don't have a crazy amount of bolstering on the sides, but they're just really, you know, enjoyable to sit in. I got the heated seat on, I got the heated steering wheel on, which is a comfortable drive, and my legroom is great, and then the people behind me would have good room as well. This vehicle does seat 5, and anyone that was sitting behind me would be comfortable. And the visibility is great too. That's something that is important to note. You got the camera up here on the rear view, facing back great visibility out of the side view, despite how wide and kind of angular, modular this vehicle is. You can still see out the side very well. Now, if I did look over my left shoulder, the typical over the shoulder, you do have that pretty big B pillar right here, but straight behind it you can see back. So all in all, it is good visibility, I would say. And if I'm looking out the actual rear view mirror without the camera, that tire does cover a good portion of the arch in the center, but on either side of it you can still see out pretty well, and above it you still get about 7 inches or so. So I'd say it's going to be a 9 out of 10 on visibility, and definitely a 10 out of 10 on comfort, because I feel it is super spacious. And one more thing, I love the height of this over here on the door sill. It's perfect. Sometimes, you know, they're too high or too low. This one fits me really nice and just keeps the continuation flow of my arm very comfortable. Same with the one on the right as well. If I was driving like this for a long distance, I'd be comfortable, because this is, again, not hard plastic. It is kind of almost a soft, not leather, but kind of a soft rubber. So comfortable on the elbow joints, comfortable on the arm. Overall, a very comfortable drive with nice visibility. Also, another thing to note is these A-pillars are pretty narrow, actually. They got this handle here, but other than that, there's not much taking up your view. So you get a really expansive and wide windshield with good 180-degree view out the front. 3, 2, 1. It's wild when you let off, you really do feel it coming forward. We are in Watts of Freedom mode. I engaged that by clicking down on traction control twice. I press continue, brake very hard. I'm gonna floor it and then release the brake. Wow. Talk about exhilarating. That was crazy. Thankfully, no people, no cars around. Safe little stretch of road there. I had done it once earlier where the tires had squealed. They didn't squeal that time, but I think it's just so cool how, you know, it does this little setup. It's like you're almost like you're armed and ready to go. Watts of Freedom, and it says standby, so I could do it again if I wanted to, but I'm gonna click down on traction and get out of it. The sound of the vehicle quiets down a bit, and then we're back just to normal driving. Probably the coolest part about it is the versatility, how you can do your light-to-light daily driving in it, haul the family around, haul the dog around, haul the pets around, put a bike on. Tons of different features you can add on this too, so it's not like this is it. You can really customize this SUV in a way that makes sense for you and your activities and what you enjoy doing. This is just so cool. I feel like I'm in like a GMC commercial or something right now, just kind of cruising around. And yeah, I need to be like towing something, like towing a boat or towing a camper or something, man. Doing something manly, because this is just a cool car. But also, I feel like, you know, this could be a good family car for the wife. We're doing a little hairpin turn here. We'll see how well this does. Got to come to a complete stop. Oh man, it's like butter. The steering wheel on this is really nice because, again, it's a big heavy vehicle and it's just super smooth. I love it. I'm absolutely in love with it, and I can't wait to see more of them on the road. I'm sure people will start, you know, wrapping them, modifying, and doing crazy stuff with it, but I think just keeping it stock, this thing is perfect as it is. Stance on it's nice, the ratios on it are nice, and the design language overall is really pretty. So hope you guys enjoyed this video review. As always, I really appreciate all your support. Massive thanks to GMC for the opportunity. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave them down in the comments section below. That's it. I'm over and out. 10-4.